Cincinnati, everybody, on the final Sunday of the NFL's regular season. Today, it's the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. Since taking over as the Ravens starting quarterback, Eric Zeier has led Baltimore to 2 straight wins over Seattle and Tennessee. While 36-year-old Boomer Esiason has taken the Bengals to 3 wins since becoming their starting quarterback and has them as the hottest offense in the NFL. Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Donovan, along with Beasley Reese. Boomer Esiason. Not only, Beasley, is he playing well, but he has everyone else playing well, too.
Well, for my money, he's the comeback player of the year. I can't think of a single player in the National Football League with a greater impact on his team than Boomer over the last month. You see the numbers. The numbers are staggering. His Lazarus-like return from the dead, 11 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. And, Jim, he's got a rookie running back named Corey Dillon, who's putting on a show. He's a great one to watch today.
Now, the Ravens are starting to play pretty well, and how are they doing it?
They're doing it with young players. I mean, this is a team of the future. Put them on the stock market. I invest heavily. Look at Jonathan Ogden, and these are first and second year players. Lewis leads the league in tackles. Jermaine Lewis leads it in punt return. And Peter Bolwell needs 1 sack to tie the all-time rookie sack record.
And today we'll watch the Iron Man, Ernest Biner. 9 years in the NFL, has never missed a game. 14-year veteran, and he says he'll be back for a 15th year next year with the Ravens. Coming up, the kickoff, you're watching the NFL on NBC. Bruce Coslett on the Bengals sideline. Look at the Bengals in their final home game. 8 of the last 9 years they've won it. And look at Coslett here in Cincinnati. Tough to beat.
Boy, he's hard to beat at home. Now, only 1-7 on the road this season. That's been the problem. But like last year, Coslett got him to turn it around. And Boomer, a big reason down the stretch here.
Back deep, Eric Bieniemy. There he is, number 21. James Hunden will be back deep with him. Matt Stover has it up on the tee. And we're set to go on a beautiful day on the final Sunday of the NFL's regular season. And we're glad you're spending it with us. It will be Bieniemy right at his 10. And he brings it out over the 20, out near the 23-yard line. Boomer Esiason leads the red-hot offense out onto the field. Let's check out the starting lineup today. Esiason has the rookie Dillon in the backfield. The fullback is Brian Milne. Dunn and Scott are the wide receivers. Tony McGee is the tight end. The offensive line, which is a big reason why they're playing well. Sargent and Braham on the left side. Brills is the center. Brumfield is in on the right side for the injured Ken Blackman, and Willie Anderson is the right tackle. It's 1st and 10 at their own 23. Short pass, David Dunn. And Dunn brings it out to the 29-yard line. Brought down there by Deron Jenkins. The Ravens defense, which is playing pretty well in the last couple of weeks. Keith Washington goes in at the left defensive end for Rob Burnett, who's got a bad ankle. Tony Siragusa is back in the middle, and he'll occupy a lot of space. He's playing with a club on his hand. Look at all the rookies. Good linebackers. The secondary 2 starting rookie safeties, Staten and Herring. On 2nd down, Esiason's second pass, and he is right there to Darnay Scott, and you can move the chains. It's a 1st down.
See, that's been Boomer down the stretch. I mean, this guy knows this offense extremely well. Really, this offense was developed for him by Bruce Coslett when Coslett was the offensive coordinator here. That's a dart. Look at that. Perfect throw, right in position, 1st down.
Darnay Scott, who was kind of invisible, and now all of a sudden in the last 6 games since Carl Pickens went out, he has really picked it up.
It's a contract year for Darnay.
On 1st down, 3rd pass for Esiason, but he gets tripped up, and tipsy-turvy, he goes down. As the Ravens smother him, McCrary is in there along with James Jones. Just kind of lost his feet there. All of a sudden, he was like the leaning tower of Boomer.
Well, it looked like he tripped over Kevin Sargent's feet. Now, we've got a flag down on the play, and Boomer is asserting that it's against Baltimore. But watch here. You'll see number 77, top of your screen.
Defense, number 41. 5-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
That's Ralph Staten, the safety. Illegal contact, the 5 yards will give them a 1st down.
Well, Ralph Staten is an interesting story. This is a linebacker. He actually played stand-up defensive end at Alabama, so perhaps the greatest adjustment on the football field is this guy going from stand-up defensive end to free safety.
First and 10 for the Bengals out over their own 42-yard line. Jarna Carter joins Dillon in the backfield. Dillon's first carry, and he will fight off one tackle, but not the second one, as Washington comes in to make the tackle along with Siragusa and the cornerback, Deron Jenkins.
Now, I want to make sure everybody understands this from the outset. The defensive stars for Baltimore are saying, I mean, totally a lack of respect for Corey Dillon. They're saying, I can't see how he's gaining all of these yards. He's not quick. He's not elusive. How is he doing it? So right there, they stand up to their words. There's the defensive coordinator, Marvin Lewis, and they stop Corey, but they won't stop him for long.
Now it is second down and 14. They give the ball back to Dillon. He'll try the near side. There's the corner. The 45, a nice little spin to get himself 2 more yards.
Well, that's what he does. First of all, he's getting some very good blocking, and I think the offensive line hasn't received enough credit on this football team. Everybody's saying Boomer Esiason and Corey Dillon, but somebody's protecting Boomer and somebody's blocking for Corey Dillon. And watch this talented young rookie, Peter Bolwell, getting manhandled by the offensive line.
Esiason on target once again to Darnay Scott down near the Ravens' 46-yard line, where Ray Lewis brings him down. And, you know, it is like he's throwing darts. I mean, he's just got that little flick.
I don't know what happened to Boomer, but he's stronger. He's fresh. He's playing like he's 25 or 26 years old. It's been a complete rebirth. And when you talk about Boomer Esiason, you're talking about a guy who's had the greatest success in the National Football League and some of the greatest downtimes in the league.
And, of course, there's the story. There's the guy that really, he's playing for his son, Gunnar, 6 years old. He's got the number 7 jersey up.
And, you know, the beauty of it is that, you know, Gunnar has cystic fibrosis, but he's old enough at this point to understand what his dad is doing and how talented his dad is. And that's the reason that Boomer's still playing.
Bengals got a first down at the 46 of Baltimore. Back to Dillon. Pretty good lick put on him at the 45-yard line. The ball came loose. The Ravens are saying that they were on it. Whistles are blowing. Let's see if they ruled that Dillon was down. Ray Lewis in on every big hit, along with the rookie linebacker, Jamie Sharper. And it looks like it will be second down and no fumble.
Another viewing note. You watch these linebackers for the Baltimore Ravens. Look at Ray Lewis finding the play, adjusting, and then coming up. That's good safety play, good linebacker play, all about.
Boomer's got the Bengals really moving in a hurry-up style fashion. There's Marco Battaglia. He's the tight end all the way down near the 10. 35 yards and another first down.
I can't emphasize how well Boomer knows this offense. This is Boomer's offense. This offense was designed by Coslett with Boomer in mind.
Jeff Blake watching from the sideline. He's relieved of his starting duties by Boomer. And Coslett wants him to really watch the way Boomer runs this offense. And he's watching him run it perfectly on the first drive. Dillon inside the 10, down near the 9-yard line. Ray Lewis again on the tackle, along with, coming up to make the tackle, Michael McCrary.
Well, the defensive players for the Ravens are very upset that Ray Lewis isn't a starter in the Pro Bowl. I mean, they went crazy about, look at him go to the football. He leads the National Football League in tackles. He needs 3 or 4 to go over 200. He might be over 200 already for the season.
Second down. The motion man is Darnay Scott. Boomer into the end zone. Touchdown, Battaglia. He made that drive look simple, didn't he? All the way down the field. Everything worked except one running play when Dillon was tossed for loss. Extra point Pelfrey, and the kick is good. It was all Boomer the first time down the field. He throws the touchdown pass. The Bengals lead 7-0. This is the NFL on NBC. Welcome back to Cincinnati, where Marco Battaglia catches a Boomer Esiason touchdown pass. Esiason 5 for 5 on that drive down the field for 66 yards, and the Bengals lead 7-0. Nobody's been able to really stop the Bengals offense since Esiason came in as the starter, and the Ravens didn't do it on that first defensive try. Here's Jermaine Lewis. Good return man out to the 20. Andre Collins, though, takes him down on the play.
You know, the touchdown was just Ralph Staten, number 41, versus Marco Battaglia. Battaglia will come all the way across the field, and Boomer is so patient. He'll just wait. He gets very good protection up front. You see Staten gets a couple of steps behind, really, from the start of the play, just off the line of scrimmage. Good throw, good play. And then here's your touchdown, just really deception. Staten, once again, number 41. Remember, I told you he was a stand-up defensive end in college. They tried him at linebacker. He's playing free safety because of injuries and struggling right now.
On first down, Eric Zier hands the ball off. It goes to Bam Morris, and Morris brings it out over the 20-yard line near the 25. Here's the Ravens offensively. Eric Zier getting his third straight start, relieving Vinny Testaverde. He's got Bam Morris in the backfield. They'll go with two tight ends, Kinchin and Eric Green, and Michael Jackson and Derek Alexander, two big wide receivers. And a big offensive line topped off by that great left tackle, Jonathan Ogden, second year going to his first Pro Bowl. Williams, New Year, Blackshear, and Zeus, Orlando Brown, 77 at the right tackle. On 2nd and 7. Trailing 7-0. And this offense now for the Ravens will have to keep pace with the Bengals offense. Bam Morris a second try. And Gerald Dixon and Steve Tovar, the two linebackers, make the tackle. The front three, Copeland, Von Oelhoffen, and Dan Wilkinson is back in the lineup after being down with a bad neck. And then the rest of the Bengals defense, really with good linebackers playing well the last couple of weeks. Francis Tovar, Billy Granville is in for Ricardo McDonald. Ashley Ambrose is playing with a broken thumb. He's got a cast on it. Jimmy Spencer is in for the injured Corey Sawyer. Crowd is into the game early, aren't they? 3rd down and 5 from the 27. Zier needs a timeout. So the Bengals offense that was really rolling, and the Ravens offense stumbling a little, and we'll be right back.
Here's a perfect example of how disguising your defense can affect an offense. This looks like man for man across the board and maybe a blitz. And then at the last second, watch how Greg Myers, number 31, runs out, goes to a double zone.
Good defensive play by Sam Shea, coming up and knocking the ball away from the tight end Eric Green on 3rd down and 5, and so it's 4th down.
And to finish that thought, young Eric Zier, the quarterback, tried to change the play again, ran out of time, and that's why they had to call the timeout. Now on this one, this is just a great break on the ball. Very good position by the man that I call Shea, Sam Shea, as in James Bond. That's a
Montgomery
great name.
had to reach for that snap. Myers calls for a fair catch, and then he got hit at the 32, but his own man might have blocked the Raven defender coming down, John Williams, right into him, and that's the case. And we'll be back with Boomer Esiason and the Bengal offense for their second try right after this. There's Gunnar Esiason having a good time. His dad's off to a perfect start so far and is back into the Bengal huddle. 5 first downs on that first Bengal drive, and 5 for 5 passing for 66 yards and a touchdown to Marco Battaglia. The ball is out over the 30-yard line at the 31, first down Bengals. To Corey Dillon. And Dillon is brought down right away. James Jones, the left defensive tackle, trailed him and brought him down.
Well, the defensive linebackers and that front seven, they said that they were going to corral Corey Dillon. It's early, but so far they've done a pretty good job.
As we check out our scores on this final Sunday of the NFL's regular season. Esiason to pass. He got hit by Antonio Langham. The ball popped loose. It was picked up by Dillon, and he'll get some yardage out near the 35-yard line. Even when a bad play happens, it comes up good for this offense.
Boomer has only been sacked 4 times since he took over the starting role. And he says that's one of the reasons that the offense has been playing a lot better. See, this is just Antonio Langham just fooled him.
Did Dillon miss him?
And Corey Dillon, the young rookie, that's what Coach Kozlitz said he's got to learn, is to see all of the areas where trouble can come from. He missed that block.
It's a 3rd down and 6. Scott in motion, blitz coming, Esiason in trouble. He's sacked, and the ball came out of there again, but the whistles had blown, and they had wrapped him up. Ray Lewis, the terrific 2nd-year middle linebacker.
Well, just basically everything breaks down here. Look how Ray Lewis is supposed to be a decoy. Somehow he just works his way through the traffic and gets in. Now, remember, this guy is one heck of a football player. He's an alternate to the Pro Bowl. He leads the National Football League in tackles. You will hear Ray Lewis and Peter Boulware all day long.
Well, this should be a pretty good battle all day. Lee Johnson punting and Jermaine Lewis returning.
Hey, Bob.
He leads the NFL in punt return yardage. Here's Lewis here inside the 25. And they cover him out over the 35-yard line. 7-0. The Bengals lead over the Ravens here early in the 1st quarter. The NFL season extends now to the World Wide Web on NFL.com, the league's official website. Visit NFL.com for all of the scores and stats, including a complete roundup of this weekend's scores and action. Plus, chat live with some of the NFL's biggest stars. And it's all at NFL.com. So the Ravens get themselves a good defensive stand. They get the Bengals off the field, and their snapper on the punts and kicks, Truitt, limps off the field. Greg Truitt.
Well, I can't tell you how bad that can be. A snapper.
That can make it a long afternoon, right?
Goodness, that's a very important position.
The Ravens went 3 and out on their first possession. Zaire. And he gets sacked. Back at the 32-yard line. Gerald Dixon will get credit with the sacks along with James Francis.
See, I can't emphasize how well this defense is disguising. I don't think Zaire knows exactly what the defense is when he starts back, because they are showing one thing, they're giving another. Now, no one can really tell us what this Vinny, Eric Zaire thing is all about. Even Coach Marchabroda said that, you know, Vinny will probably be the starter next year, but he wants to know how quickly he can go to Eric Zaire, and that's why he's getting all this playing time.
2nd and 15. There was another blitz coming. He unloaded it, though, to Bam Morris. And Morris then is brought down at the 35-yard line.
We're seeing some pretty good defense here. And one of the reasons that this defense is playing very well, the defenders will tell you, is Boomer Esiason. I mean, they don't want to let the guy down. So this defense has really picked it up. Really the same way that the offense has picked it up, about the same time. Take a look at that's Myers this time. Now remember, I told you he was faking blitzes earlier and then going back into safety positions. Well, this time he actually blitzed. Dick LeBeau finally has got that defense clicking.
It's 3rd down and 12. The ball at the 35-yard line. Zaire's got a lot of time, but it doesn't look like anyone's open. Still can't find anybody. Calling for people to come back, and then he's finally pushed out.
Well, that's a nice long play.
I would say that was like 10 Mississippi, wasn't it?
That's one of the longest plays in the National Football League this season. All right, let's take a look and see if we can figure out what he sees or does not see. You see everybody's covered at the bottom. Everybody's covered at the top. Once again, this is Dick LeBeau's defense really starting to play well. There's nothing there. It's not like Eric Zaire missed something. There was nothing.
Montgomery's second punt of the afternoon. He stands back at his 12. Greg Myers is back deep for the Bengals. Punt hits inside the 40 and then bounces over Myers. And a good job by Montgomery. Look at that roll inside the 20. Keep huffing and puffing, Ravens, and he blows it all the way back down to the 15-yard line. Bengals get the ball at the 15 when we come back, leading 7-0. You're watching the NFL on NBC.
The special season by Corey Dillon accentuated by 247 yards against Tennessee. That breaks the rookie record set by the great Jim Brown. Jim Brown had 237 yards, and that record stood a long time. And that's one of the reasons this young man has well over 1,000 yards. And there's your lineup. Tim Wilson, Bo Jackson, 221 back in '87. Jerome Bettis, the bust. But Corey Dillon, 246. That jersey is in the Hall of Fame.
And he won't have far to have to go visit it. It's only up the road there in Canton. First and 10, he gets the carry and gets the corner. He's out to the 19-yard line where Herring and Ray Lewis make the stop.
See, his movements are very subtle.
Well, they are subtle. I think you're right.
And Antonio Langham, watch this, had him dead to rights. I mean, there's no way you missed his tackle. Look at 38. That's Antonio. He's right there, and he's not there. Very subtle movements, and that's the reason that this guy, on film, you don't see it, but he's fantastic.
And I say this in truly a football sense. He has nice hips.
Is it wrong to recognize nice hips in a man?
Second down and 5. See, look at those hips. He's out over the 20 to the 22-yard line. Kim Herring and Ray Lewis again. Might be a problem now for the Bengals if they have to punt. They've lost their snapper for the time being because Greg Truitt went in. He's got a bad ankle right now. He's going in for x-rays, and so Steve Bush would be their snapper. And there he is. He was practicing on the sideline, and he's holding his breath right now because it's 3rd and 2. And if they don't get it, he's on the field. A stick right there. Flying through is Larry Webster along with Tyrus McLeod, the linebacker. And so, Mr. Bush, come on out and snap the ball.
Let me tell you something. This defense, the youth and the talent on this defense is phenomenal. Listen to this. You hear the collective groan of the crowd.
Now the Ravens should get good field position, although Johnson really hit a good punt, a very good punt. Lewis inside his 25. And he brings it out near the 34-yard line. There is a flag down. Gary Lane is our referee today. First time with him today. And it's going to go against the Ravens, so now they will not have good field position as they'll be marched back.
You know, you hate when that happens when you're a return man. I mean, you could do, what if he had broken that thing for 50? I mean, you can do all of this work and some guy on the other side of the field, sometimes you have to trust your return man to make a play, to make somebody miss. If you're in a bad position, you have to let it go, but you see it all the time. Really, you see it almost every game. Some guy will grab on. You see one of the coaches there saying, don't hold.
Before the return, holding number 89 on the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
A.J. Ofadale, the tight end, is flagged on the play, and that was Scott O'Brien lecturing on the Ravens sideline, the special teams coach. So the ball is moved back inside the 20-yard line. 7-0 Bengals lead. Remember, coming up, game 2. What a game, huh, Beasley? The Jets, the Lions, a playoff spot up for grabs. 2,000-yard rushing season hanging in the balance for Barry Sanders. He needs 131 yards. That's coming up next. Right now, Bam Morris from Zaire. Ooh, a pretty spin move on Billy Granville. Will get him a lot more yardage out over the 30-yard line to 32.
Bam is deceptive also. A guy this big. Take a look at Minnesota and Indianapolis. That's a big game for Minnesota.
Look out for Indianapolis after what they did last week, huh?
Well, that's a team that's real hot right now, and unfortunately for Minnesota at the wrong time. Washington up 14-0 on Philadelphia.
The Ravens got their first down of the afternoon on that catch by Morris, and he runs it out to the 35-yard line. Tackled by Gerald Dixon. And it will be second down.
This is classic Bam. See, that's zone blocking. The line just kind of moves to the left, and 75 Jonathan Ogden with a corner ceiling block. This guy's an all-pro, and you see why right there in his second year out of UCLA, opening that crack for Bam Morris.
Well, the Bengals expect to get a steady dose of Bam Morris. Flags coming down as they come up to the line of scrimmage.
Snap, false start, offense. Number 86, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
It's on the tight end, Eric Green. So figuring that they would get a lot of Bam Morris today, here's what Morris has done. They've done with him, and then the 5 games without Bam Morris. Actually, their running game is all Bam Morris.
If he's in there, he gets the ball.
Zaire's got 2nd and 11 from his own 30-yard line. The Ravens trail 7-0. Morris again. Ripped down from behind. Getting him by the jersey is John Copeland. To the Bengals defense, Beasley. Now, Dick LeBeau comes over here, and a lot of people have wondered about the defense. But the situation is, I was wondering, does he have the right personnel to put this defense in? And I'm sure that's what the Bengals will take a look at in the offseason.
I think one of the problems is the defensive linemen resisted their role in this defense. And I'll talk more about that after this play.
Because it's 3rd and 10 at the 31-yard line. Big Daddy Dan Wilkinson coming. Zaire got away. There's a flag thrown into the pack of offensive linemen as he carries out to the 36-yard line where Renard Wilson brings him down.
You know, while we're waiting on the call, the defensive line in this defense, in Dick LeBeau's defense, they are grunts. It's holding against the Ravens. And what I mean by that is their job is to grab the offensive lineman and...
On the offense, number 67. Penalties decline. 4th down.
Grab the lineman, allow the safeties and linebackers to make the plays. That's why Greg Myers and Sam Shade lead this team in tackling. 83 and 75 tackles respectively. That's unusual.
Montgomery to punt again. The penalty was on the center, Quentin New Year. And on 4th down, the Ravens will punt. Closing seconds of the first quarter. Myers backpedals to his 15 and gets brought down there by John Williams. Good special teams play by Williams. 11 seconds to go in the first quarter. Here's Boomer Esiason, who has taken over the offense, an offense that, as you said earlier, Beasley, was really kind of geared towards him in the first place. And then there's the Jeff Blake factor and what happens to him.
Well, you know, when you talk to Bruce Cousin, he defends Jeff Blake enthusiastically. Now, you see, with Blake, they were 2-7, Boomer 4-2 in there. The quarterback rating is the dramatic thing, 107.5. That means that he is very efficient with the ball. 11 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions.
On 1st down, the catch made by Dunn for a 1st down over the 25 to the 26-yard line, and that should do it here in the first quarter as we are done with quarter number 1 in Cincinnati. The Bengals lead over the Ravens by a score of 7-0. And we'll be back to Synergy Field. You're watching the NFL on NBC.
You're looking at Jeff Blake and Boomer Esiason. Now, Coslet says that a lot of this was the fact that Jeff Blake would not accept the small plays. He kept trying to force plays downfield. And, you know, he defends Jeff Blake. He says Jeff put up tremendous numbers. We all know that when he was the quarterback. But it's probably doing Jeff a lot of good to watch Boomer and to watch the way he accepts the little plays underneath and sets up the bigger plays. He doesn't really push it.
1st and 10 on the first play of the second quarter. Here comes Corey Dillon to the Bengals sideline and dumped down at the 28-yard line. Let's check in with Greg Gumbel right now for an update as we go off to New York.
All right, Jim, we'll take you off to Minnesota, where the Vikings have come back after an early Colts touchdown. Randall Cunningham, 16 yards. Great catch by Chris Carter at the back of the end zone to tie the game at 7. If Washington wins, the Vikings need a win to make the postseason. And right now, the Redskins are leading the Eagles 14-7. Jim?
All right, thanks, Greg. 7-0 here. Cincinnati in the lead. Second quarter. Esiason on 2nd and 7. Down the middle. McGee's open. Couldn't get it at the 50-yard line. Boomer found a hole in the middle of that defense and knew that he was that close to a big play.
You can look at his body language. It lets you know everything right there. And this is a double zone. In a double zone, the weakness is in the middle of the football field because the safeties have these outside areas. So you can see Boomer's reaction. He knows, he read it probably before they even snapped the football, knew that it was going to be available, and for one rare moment in the last month of football, he missed it.
First incompletion of the day. 6 out of 7. What a start. A lot of people coming on this play, so he dumps it to Hundon for a 1st down to the 41. The hot receiver, right?
Don't blitz a veteran. You don't go there with Boomer Esiason. He sees it right away. He knows exactly what. Now watch how he leads him with the football to pull him away from the defender. That's accuracy. This man cannot retire.
So it's another 1st down for the Bengals. The ball is out at their 41-yard line. He is 7 of 8 throwing the ball today. Fakes the draw to Dillon, then gives it to him on a pass. And Dillon is brought down by Lewis and Boulware for a short gain out near the 44-yard line.
Well, if the Ravens are getting anything done, they are backing up their words to me in the meeting yesterday that they will not allow Corey Dillon to get loose here, that they can't figure out how in the world he's running over people. I mean, it's early in this football game, but Coach Lewis's guys are corralling young Corey Dillon so far.
Second down, 6. Esiason with Lewis on a blitz. Down the middle to Dillon. Forces a miss of a tackle and gets out near midfield. Jamie Sharper, the rookie linebacker from Virginia, brings him down.
Now, as I watched that play start, it's a great play by Sharper, but I was watching Peter Boulware, and it reminds me that he needs 1 sack.
Just one.
To tie the all-time rookie accomplishment in that area. He's got 11 and a half. He needs 12 and a half to tie Leslie O'Neal from 1986 and Simeon Rice from last season. So keep your eye on him.
In the meantime, it's 3rd and 2. But the catch is made as Esiason hung in there and finally found Darnay Scott at the Raven 45.
Now, Darnay Scott was missing passes, and passes were hitting him in the back of the head. Boomer comes in, and this last part of the season, Darnay has been unbelievable. They're reaching behind him, behind his body, over the head, and then watch Boomer under pressure. See, Boomer gets rid of the ball so quickly that it's difficult to sack him. He puts it in nice positions. That is controlling the football game, and that's what Boomer does so well.
James Jones had a hunk of Boomer, but no football with Boomer. It was out of there. 1st and 10. Here comes Kijana Carter for the first time today. Brought down by Michael McCrary. The ball down near the Raven 39-yard line.
Interesting note about Kijana Carter. I couldn't believe this, but they say that his work habits have really improved because of Corey Dillon's work habit. Corey Dillon takes every play 100 yards. They have to wait on him. It slows down practice. Well, Kijana has started doing the same thing.
Little fullback dive there by Brian Milne, his first carry of the day, and so they're starting to spread it around. But Dillon is such a hard worker in practice that all of a sudden Carter said, you know what, it's working for him.
Yeah,
maybe I should do it that way.
That's right, and it's helped him. It's helped him in the games, and it is it's the spirit of competition. And he's playing with a rotator cuff injury on his left shoulder, so that slowed him down a little bit. But he had a couple of nice runs this year.
He's in the backfield on 3rd and 2s. Darnay Scott's the motion guy. Esiason, incomplete. Look for Battaglia, the tight end, at the 30-yard line, and so it is 4th down. The crowd is saying, go, go, go for it.
You see, here's another example of playing a guy who used to be a defensive end. You see 41 right there? He doesn't know how to break at the angle of the throw in case there is a bounce off. I mean, your real good safeties in this league might have a chance at intercepting that ball when it comes off a player's hand. He takes the wrong angle.
Lee Johnson's job now is to just bang this one out inside the 20-yard line. Jermaine Lewis is back, and Johnson hits a shot way up into the air, and we'll see where they mark the ball out. At the 13-yard line. So a good job done by Lee Johnson. It will be Ravens ball when we come back. They trail 7-0, and you're watching the NFL on NBC. 10 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the first half, and the Ravens trailing 7-0. They're backed up now at their own 13-yard line. Eric Sire looking, finds Michael Jackson out beyond the first down marker, and he's out over the 20 to the 24-yard line. Hey, Christmas Day, the NBA on NBC makes its season debut with a great doubleheader beginning at 2:30 Eastern with NBA Showtime. The 4 teams that met in last season's conference finals take the floor. In Game 1, Charles Barkley and the Houston Rockets will take on Karl Malone, John Stockton, and the Utah Jazz. Then in Game 2, Alonzo Mourning and the Miami Heat take on Michael Jordan and the Bulls. The NBA on NBC doubleheader, Christmas Day. First down for the Ravens. Nice hole here for Bam Morris, and he runs out to another Ravens first down with a flag down at the 35-yard line. The tackle made by Gerald Dixon. And we are getting an indication from some of the Bengal defenders that this one's coming back. Well, and it will be the second holding call on the Ravens offense.
Well, it must have been at the point of attack because the blocking was superb. I mean, normally
holding offense. Number 69, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
You know, normally when you have those fantastic holds like that, somebody did something. They're saying that Jeff Blackshear was holding on that play.
First down and 15 with 10 minutes to go in the half at their own 19-yard line. Zion on a quick count. Van Morris, and he'll struggle to get back to the 19-yard line as there were a lot of black jerseys here. Billy Granville is over there, an excitable linebacker. He's over there along with Kimo von Oelhoffen.
Well, see, these are weird weird plays for Bam Morris. I mean, you can't send this guy laterally like that. The big backs, the Jerome Bettis's and Bam Morris's, you have to start them at the line of scrimmage and let them break off angles, not wide plays.
Second at 15. No gain on the last play, so the ball is still at the 19. Total yards, total domination by the Bengals. Zion threw it to the wrong side of Michael Jackson at the 25-yard line with Andre Collins on defending him.
Now, I can't tell you how big this game is for Eric Zion. This is almost like an audition. This is like a, yes, I can run this offense, or yes, I'm as good or better than Vinny Testaverde. This is a big moment for him. Now, he says that nobody's telling him anything. Nobody's promising him, if I play well, I'll start. Nothing. He just goes out and he's focusing on the day, and I think that's a good way to look at it if you're Eric Zion. That's the way he says that he's approaching it.
As Vinny Testaverde watches, they try and convert for the first time today on third down. Flushed. Wilkinson there. Copeland chasing. Zion hangs in and throws the ball to Ernest Biner. And they're going to say that he hung on to it, too. He's out over the 25 to the 27, but he's well short of the first down.
That's one of the attributes that is intriguing to Coach Marchibroda is this Eric Zion's mobility. I mean, this shows a lot of quickness, buying himself a lot of time for somebody to get open. But when it comes to rolling out and throwing the ball on the run, you have a hard time beating Vinny Testaverde.
Here's Greg Myers lining up back inside his own 30. Montgomery to punt. Myers makes the fair catch at about his own 35-yard line. 8:22 to go in the first half, and we'll be back with the Bengals leading 7-0. Well, there's a look at what Boomer Esiason did last week against Dallas and what he's off to today. 10 out of 12 for 100 yards with a touchdown. He could have a big final Sunday of this regular season. Out of the backfield, swings it to Dillon. And Dillon runs into the Raven bench, but not before he gets out to the 41-yard line.
I tell you, Boomer's in one of the great positions all time when it comes to negotiating. Talk about leverage. As you take a look at some of the scores, Minnesota up on Indianapolis. Boomer will be negotiating with the Bengals, and they've already, some reports say they've offered to tear up his 700 and some, there's the owner, Mike Brown, $700 and some $1,000 contract and offer him millions to come back.
Corey Dillon. Not much there. Larry Webster and Ray Lewis bring him down.
Plus, he's negotiating with the networks at the end of the season. Millions on the table there. He told us in our meeting yesterday that he was offered a very lucrative and prominent opportunity. He wouldn't go any further than that last year to leave football and go into the booth or the studio as a studio host for some network. He wouldn't name which one. So talk about a guy in a great position. That's Boomer Esiason.
Third down and 4. He has 3 agents. One for football, one for entertainment, one for books. Steps away from the rush. There's a flag down as he throws to the 50-yard line. And the catch is made there at the 50, complete to David Dunn, but it's coming back. Holding going to be called on the Bengals.
Now, this is the wrong time for me to be bringing this up with the holding call on the table, but
Offense, number 77. 10-yard penalty, still third down.
that's big Orlando Brown, 350 pounds, 6'7". Kevin Sargent, that is. Kevin Sargent on the left side of your screen there. The big guy is 6'6", 295. But Kevin Sargent is one of the reasons that this team has turned around, according to Bruce Cosby. They got him back from injury. And the entire, like a ripple effect, the offensive line instantly became better.
A takedown on Michael McCrary on 3rd down and 14. He throws high, and Ray Lewis has the football on the deflection at the 45-yard line. David Dunn reached up to try and keep the ball alive, but when he did, he ran by it after the deflection, and it stayed in the air, and Ray Lewis, the linebacker, scooped it up in midair and went down at the 45.
Well, remember, I talked about Ravens defender Ralph Staten taking the wrong angle. Look at the tip there. You see Ray Lewis didn't run toward the receiver. He ran toward the angle that the ball would go to once he saw that it was a high throw, anticipating the tip, and that's the reason he gets the interception.
Well, they ruled no interception. They ruled that he didn't have possession when he came down, so he was juggling it. And the ball is at the 30-yard line, and the Bengals now will punt it away. Here's Lee Johnson to Jermaine Lewis. Not much room for Lewis at all. Bush is down there along with Collins on the special teams tackle. Ravens have the ball when we return to Cincinnati. 6:34 left in the first half. Jim Donovan and Beasley Reese here in Cincinnati, where the Bengals took their first possession of the day and scored a touchdown, and that's been all. 7-0. Eric Zier has had a tough time with the Bengal defense. He throws here, and the ball's caught by tight end Eric Green out to the 40-yard line. Good play. First down, Baltimore.
Eric Green's one of those rare guys. You're talking 6'5", 285 in his 8th year. It's a 17-yard gain. He came into the game with 58 receptions, 4 touchdowns. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler. And talk about a guy with size. And when you look at receiving leaders for tight ends, there's Eric Green at number 4 with 58 catches. And when it comes to touchdowns, only Sharp and Coates have more touchdowns this season.
Tough run there by Bam Morris. Von Oelhoffen on the top breaks in, and he really, now there's a little skirmish that has broken out off to the side as a couple of the Ravens get involved, along with Wally Williams. In there was Dixon, the linebacker, and Steve Tovar of the Bengals.
See, people think that last game of the season, 2 teams out of the playoffs, you know, it's pride. After that first hit, it's a game. It's a game, and it's a fight. It's whatever it takes.
Both of these teams trying to work through a perfect month of December. They've had a good finish. 2nd down and 9. Zier looking long from Michael Jackson. He got behind Jimmy Spencer, but the ball thrown too far at the 25-yard line. I was wondering when they were going to go after Spencer. He's in there starting for Corey Sawyer.
Well, Zier finally found him. I think the disguising and the variations that are in the zone blitz defense that Cincinnati is running now, it makes you a little cautious because you don't know when they're going to come with the blitz. You don't know if it's man or zone. So Eric Zier read that one, knew exactly what it was, and almost hit a big one.
He needs 9 here on 3rd down. Bengals on defense on defending 3rd down have not been good. 30th. The catch is made by Jermaine Lewis, and then he finds the right alley and takes it into Cincinnati territory to the 45. Instead of going wide then after he made the catch, he took it right up the middle.
Smart play by the receiver, but even, the people that make this work is the line. Take a look at that. I mean, they just wiped out the defenders, allowed Eric Zier to look around and find Jermaine Lewis. And Jermaine really has been the spark around here. You remember he got 1,884 total yards coming in, 2 punt return touchdowns against Seattle. The guy always makes play. He's a budding star in the National Football League.
Bengals call a timeout defensively. And we'll return with 4:39 to go in the first half. 7-0 Cincinnati in the lead. Ravens are moving, though. This is the NFL on NBC. Double ducks coming up.
We're talking 2 ducks back to back.
That's right.
No waiting.
No waiting at all.
It's like
Zier He better duck. Because I'll tell you what, Dixon was coming on the blitz, and he didn't duck early enough, and so that's the 3rd sack of the day for the Bengals defense.
Oh, boy. Well, they call this place the jungle.
At one time they did.
Yes, and Boomer was a big part of that jungle thing, and boy, I tell you what, Zaire did duck just barely at the right time.
Well, now it's 2nd down and 17. It seems every time the Ravens get themselves into pretty good position, either the Bengals come up with a good defensive play or there is a penalty called against them. 6th play coming up here on the drive with 4 minutes to go in the half. They trail 7-0. To the middle of the field, and about the 48-yard line. The catch is made there by Derek Alexander, his first catch of the day for short yardage, and they'll still be 3rd down and long. Minnesota still leading in that crucial game for them, 10-7 over Indianapolis. But look at that score. I mean, there's a 3-12 team playing hard, knowing that they can be the spoiler today.
Well, I did a couple of Indy games, and when I did them, the key stat was like 6 games by 6 points or less. I mean, they had one of those seasons very much like the season that the Ravens had. The Ravens lost a lot of games by just a very few points. I mean, they lost 5 games by a total of 13 points. 6 of the last 8 decided by 3 points or less. So a team very similar to Indianapolis, the Baltimore Ravens.
On 3rd and 12, an all-out blitz. They got him back at the 45. Sam Shade, along with Renard Wilson, get Zaire 4th sack for the Bengal defense.
Well, that's one of the great names in football. Shade, Sam Shade. Here he comes right here. Shade, with his private detective name, sneaks in undercover and comes up with the sack.
Greg Myers stands back at the 10-yard line. Here's Montgomery. That is going to bounce into the end zone and out of the end zone for a touchback. So the Bengals will get the ball at their own 20-yard line. And Montgomery upset with himself that he wasn't able to get him out and knock it down inside the 20. A fashion note right now, those are the fingers of Greg Montgomery, the fingernails of Greg Montgomery.
Well, they say that that's big. A lot of men are doing that now, and I ask you, is it wrong?
It's not big until you do it, partner.
No, I wouldn't. It's not going to be big for a while. But I ask you, is it wrong for a man to paint his fingernails?
I think so. The 20-yard line.
Ask Dennis Rodman, is it wrong?
1st and 10 for Esiason. Battaglia went in motion, and here's Dillon into the secondary to the 35. Deron Jenkins brings him down. That play looked great. As soon as Battaglia went in motion, that whole side cleared out for him.
The Ravens defenders are mad now, especially Ray Lewis, because he thought they were going to be able to hold Mr. Dillon down, but those great running backs, you can stop them, and then you look up and they bust you for 20 or 25.
1st and 10. Dillon again. And he actually tripped over his own offensive lineman and then got back up. He tripped over Sargent and turns it into about a 6-yard gain out over the 40-yard line.
Okay, see, there's a little relaxation by the defense. They thought he was down. They relaxed. He's still playing football. He jumps up because he's got something to prove. Remember, Dillon is trying to maintain his separation from Warwick Dunn and all of the other hot young rookies so that he can lead the rookie rushers.
Esiason hit, throws, incomplete out at the 42-yard line. He avoided a sack, and we're down under 2 minutes now. 1:58 left here in the first half. Esiason to the sideline to try and get some more points. We'll be back after this. A look to one of the tough plateaus to reach in a game, 200-yard rushing games, and they're a little bit more plentiful this year. Look at Corey Dillon, though, right up at the top, 246. That's an NFL record with the total 7 this year.
Well, it's happening because of the zone blitz. The nature of that defense is you commit so much to the line of scrimmage that if the guy breaks that initial wave, it's an 80-90-yard run. I saw a couple of Barry Sanders games, and he'd have 3 yards, 1 yard, 2 yard. Then he'd catch him in a zone blitz and go 80. And so people are saying all of a sudden that Barry Sanders has gotten faster, that no, he's breaking those zone blitzes, and people are having to turn around and come and chase him. Here's some of the best games all time. Walter Payton, 275 yards back in '77.
But that night here in Cincinnati, look at what Dillon did against the Tennessee Oilers, and a game that the Oilers needed so badly because they were on a little playoff run, and yet he stung them.
And they are a classic zone blitz team.
And the pass is incomplete at the 49-yard line. Hunden was the intended receiver. Kajana Carter was standing over on the sideline, right near the sideline in the active playing field at the 50, holding his hands up, wondering why Boomer didn't give him the ball. He was wide open.
He's still wondering.
I don't know if you want to do that to Boomer.
No, you don't want to go there. This is Boomer's team.
There's Jermaine Lewis, and there's Lee Johnson. Lewis. Oh, he runs right into the defender there, and the flag goes down. As coming down on the play was Mike Jenkins, and he belted right into Jermaine Lewis. A meeting of the number 84s there, and the flags will come down. He gave him no room at all to catch the punt. And the officials confer with 1:46 left here in the half.
The only thing they could possibly be discussing is whether or not the signal for fair catch was raised early enough. Because you don't have to give them, you have to give them the opportunity to catch the ball. There's no yardage. There's no 2-yard rule like in college or high school.
Invalid fair catch signal, number 84 on the receiving team. 5-yard penalty, first down. There can be no penalty for running into the kicker on an invalid fair catch signal.
See the last second? You see that little fake wave? So I knew that was the, see, look right there. That's just not enough. I mean, the kid doesn't have time to get out of the way when you do that at the last second.
Now, only one who has done it would know that that's it. Well, that's what that was, a fake wave.
Well, it's one of those waves that keeps you from getting killed now.
Here's what's coming up at halftime. It will be Greg Gumbel with Joe Gibbs, Chris Collinsworth, Sam Weiss, scores and highlights from the final Sunday of the NFL's regular season, and a feature on Otis Smith. So we'll be heading back to New York to check in with 1:46 to go here in the first half. Cincinnati leading 7-0. There's Jonathan Ogden, and the Ravens as a team are irate over that call.
Well, Jonathan Ogden is not a guy you want to upset. He's looking at the ref almost like, you want a piece of me? Now, this is a very cerebral, extremely intelligent man, so I know he's pleading a very intellectual case right now.
Well, they went from thinking that the penalty was going against Cincinnati, and now the penalty is on them. So it's back inside the 20 at the 17-yard line.
Coach Marcia Broda's upset too.
Wow, this penalty and sack yard 62. And they only have 67. They have 2 timeouts left as he throws to the tight end Eric Green, and Green almost stepped out of the tackle by Greg Myers, and he would have had a lot more. He'll get the first down out at the 29.
See, Green is one of those freaks of nature. I mean, a guy that big is not supposed to be so supple with his hands and so, you know, loose and elusive with his movement, but he certainly is. That's why he's a 2-time Pro Bowler.
First down, Alexander over the 40-yard line and gets out of bounds. That will be another first down, and with 1:17, Zaire has hit 2 in a row in this hurry-up offense.
Well, he's got it going, and he's been married for 10 months. His wife's name is Carrie, and Carrie's probably, you know, breaking the TV set right now because Zaire's made a couple of real good passes to get the team moving right there.
Now she's here.
Oh, she's here for the game?
She got tickets for the game, and she is
good
here
for
today.
her. Good for her.
To the 41-yard line, 1st and 10. With 1:17 left. They trail 7-0. He steps out of the pocket and tried to throw it to Ernest Biner. He threw it right over his head because the pressure was coming, and your man Sam Shade was right in the middle of it again.
Shade. Sam Shade. I love that man. Good little player, too. I mean, you watch him play a game, and I've covered a couple of Bengals games this season. You watch the entire game, and you'll start calling Sam Shade's name. I think he's got a bright future in this league. He's a leading tackler on the team with 83, and that's by design of this defense. The linebackers and safeties make all the tackles.
A lot of people up on the line of scrimmage now defensively for the Bengals, and they drop off again on 2nd and 10. Zier throws, looking for Eric Green, and there was a lot of traffic there because Alexander was crossing on the other side.
Good point. That's a classic quick slant, quick out route. Quick slant by the wide receiver, quick out by the tight end. And if the timing is just wrong, they'll be in about the same spot when the quarterback lets it go. So each guy is thinking the ball is intended for the other guy.
Zier comes out looking at that Bengals defensive alignment, which, as Beasley has pointed out, has puzzled him a couple of times. See all the jumping up on the line of scrimmage? Third down. Jackson, incomplete. The ball was high with Tito Paul on the coverage, and it's fourth down, and the Ravens will have to give it up.
You see Greg Meyer, number 31, right in the middle. All of those things, it crowds the vision, although that ball probably should have been caught. Crowds the vision of the quarterback, and you know, you have a sense of urgency that perhaps isn't real.
The snap from the 41-yard line. It hits at the 25, and then Myers grabs it at the 20 and goes out to the 21-yard line. There's a flag down.
I love it when they do that, Jim. I love it when they catch them off the bounce like that when everybody's thinking they're going to let it go. You can save 10, 15 yards of field position for your team by having that type of nerve.
The penalty will be against Cincinnati. So the line of scrimmage right now would be about the 20. And Boomer will have a long field to work with here, and 55 seconds and 2 timeouts. Here's the call on the play.
During the kick, holding on the return team, number 98. Half the distance to the goal line. First down.
Canute Curtis is hit with the penalty. Coming up next on NBC, game 2 of our doubleheader. A win and you're in situation as Bill Parcells and his Jets take on the playoff-hungry Lions. They each need a victory to ensure themselves of a postseason spot. And it could be historic, too, as Barry Sanders tries to become only the 3rd man in NFL history to rush for over 2,000 yards. Game 2 of our doubleheader is coming up next from the Silverdome. Back at the 10, Esiason. Throwing long for Hundon. Incomplete. John Williams was back on coverage with Kim Herring.
There's a man high and a man low, and it's a very dangerous throw, but Boomer is so confident. You know, he thinks he can throw this thing in there like it's a 3-point shot. Now, just patience. He's got Kajana in front of him. He signals Kajana that he's going to pass. Kajana stays away from him. See how he tries to drop it in between these defenders. You have to have nerve to try that.
Boomer is only one of his last 6 throwing the ball. But he connects there. A sliding catch out over the 25 made by Darnay Scott will be a first down. 34 seconds left in the half. They have 2 timeouts left, not using one here as they get up to the line of scrimmage. And they blow the play dead as they came up to the line of scrimmage, and he took the snap.
Part of the snap. False start, offense, number 85. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's on Hundon, the wide receiver.
You know, I don't know of a cooler quarterback than Boomer Esiason. I mean, you think about it. Just the way he stands in the pocket. He walks up to the line of scrimmage like he's John Wayne. Check him out. I mean, that's why these guys feel a sense of calm and control and mastery when they watch him do his work.
Well, he said yesterday that what he does now is he gives them the play real early and then allows the offensive linemen to discuss the play amongst each other so that they're all in the right spot.
See, that's the little veteran tricks that the young quarterbacks don't know.
Inside of a minute in a hurry-up offense, a penalty that kills a clock that is running demands a 10-second runoff. Please reset the game clock to 15 seconds.
Those are the rules. Indisputable. It's in black and white. The folks here don't like it, though.
Now you're down to 15 seconds. They're bringing in 2 tight ends. And that would indicate that they're going to take a knee here, wouldn't it, Beasley, with 15 seconds left, and just get into the locker room leading 7-0?
Yes, it does. It certainly means that they're not going to Hail Mary or stretch it out. So smart move, and we can even see the Bengals start to move toward the locker room there. So that must be the decision.
Clock has started, and our only score in the first half is on the first possession. Esiason a touchdown pass to Marco Battaglia, and that does it. The Bengals go off the field at half, leading over the Baltimore Ravens. The score is 7-0. And right now we head off to New York, and here's Greg Gumbel.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC Halftime Report, brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Domino's, delivering a million smiles a day.
Hi, everyone. Greg Gumbel, along with Joe Gibbs, Sam Weish, and Ringo Starr, who's just beating out a little tune here on this final week of the regular NFL season. Let's run down scores and highlights for you. And we'll begin with the game in Minnesota, where the Vikings, who need a victory today, looking for one to get into the postseason. Denny Green has seen his team lose 5 in a row, but they're in the playoffs if they beat the Colts after a Minnesota turnover. Marshall Faulk, 1-yard touchdown run, puts Indy up 7-0. Here comes Randall Cunningham. Scrambling, finds Chris Carter from 16 yards out. What a catch by Carter at the back end of the end zone to tie this game at 7. And then 10-7 Minnesota in the second. Jim Harbaugh was shaken up on this hit by Dwayne Rudd. Harbaugh left the game. And on came Kelly Holcomb to throw an interception. Robert Smith will break free here for a 76-yard gain. Smith to the Colt 5-yard line before he went out of bounds. It led to a Chris Carter 3-yard touchdown catch. And then just a few moments ago, on the board again, the Vikings give it to Leroy Horde. He goes 6 yards. The extra point was blocked. But right now, the Vikings looking very good for the first time in a long time, Joe, 23-10.
Well, I think one of the things they've done is adjusted their offensive game plan to Randall Cunningham. He's a lot of sprint outs. I like that. He's on the outside, and he's hooked up with Chris Carter right now. I'll tell you something else. Indy has to do something on their left side. That John Randall is a man possessed. Got to keep a tight end or somebody over there to help block on him.
All right, Joe. In Washington, the Redskins, another team that needs a win with an eye on the postseason. They lead the Eagles by a score of 28-14. Darrell Green has returned an interception, 83 yards for a touchdown in this game for the Redskins, who are looking pretty good so far.
Yeah, and any thoughts the Detroit Lions had of backing into the playoffs is beginning to look more and more like they can forget about those. Washington's winning, Minnesota's winning. That means we're going to have our first playoff game of the season coming up at 4 o'clock. The Jets, Detroit Lions, whoever wins is in. Whoever loses, they're gone. All
right, Chris. In Kansas City, the Chiefs, with a 12-3 record, are taking on the New Orleans Saints, and right now it's a 12-0 game. Tamarick Vanover, an 82-yard punt return for a touchdown for the Chiefs. Elvis Gerbach out for the last 5 weeks, starting this game 4 of 7, 54 yards, and has looked pretty decent. Doesn't look too rusty, Sam.
He's looked okay. Marty Schottenheimer said he's going in that ball game. It's a rainy, messy day out there. He's had a couple of sacks, and really and truly, I think Marty Schottenheimer's kind of happy to see him get hit a couple of times and get up, of course. But this is a good test for him. He's doing okay.
All right, Sam, it's also a rainy, messy day in Memphis, where the Tennessee Oilers are leading the Pittsburgh Steelers by a score of 10-3 as they approach halftime. The bus is in the garage today. Jerome Bettis, inactive. Scoreless in the first. Cordell Stewart, lots of time, but his pass is picked off by Joe Bowden. Returns it 9 yards to the Steelers' 16-yard line. It led to an Al Del Greco field goal and a 3-0 Oiler lead. Potentially devastating injury for Pittsburgh. Dermontti Dawson, the center, headed to the locker room with a strained left calf muscle. Second quarter, tied at 3. Tom Myslinski, normally a guard, replaces Dawson. His snap to Stewart is fumbled. Henry Ford recovers. And Motors get it, Chris, 10 yards to the Steelers. 38, backup running back Rodney Thomas breaks outside, goes 25 yards for an Oiler touchdown. And Tennessee is leading the Steelers by a score of 10-3. In Tampa, the Bucks are leading the Chicago Bears by a score of 21-7. Trent Dilfer has just thrown a 7-yard touchdown pass to Carl Williams for Tampa Bay. In Dallas, the Giants with a 20-0 lead on the the Giants with a 20-0 lead on the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys 6-9 and look real good for 6-10. In Cincinnati, the game that you're watching, the Bengals are leading the Baltimore Ravens by a score of 7-0 on a Boomer Esiason touchdown pass to Marco Battaglia. When we come back, we'll focus on the big game of the day, the Jets and the Lions, who meet in our doubleheader game. We'll hear from Jets cornerback Otis Smith right after these words from your local station.
The Bengals lead 7-0, and in aisle 5, we need a cleanup.
Not yet. Don't take it away.
We have a little problem with the play
There's
clock.
another half to play.
Yeah.
Season's almost over, but not yet.
So they are not dismantling Synergy Field yet here because we have a half to play. And the difference in this game in the first half is the first drive of the game. The entire football game, Boomer Esiason takes the Bengals offense down the field, 5 for 5, and then he throws a touchdown pass.
Well, it looked like they would repeat that movement over and over again. It'd be 50-0 right now, but Cincinnati and Baltimore, both teams calmed down. I think this is kind of a nondescript game. The players really busting their keisters are the ones who are playing for positions next year. Boomer playing very well because he's a great competitor, but also because he's got a lot riding. I mean, network contract, coming back here for millions, tremendous up in the air for him.
The decisions are tough.
Yes.
So the Ravens will get the ball to start the second half, and Jermaine Lewis stands back at his 5-yard line. Doug Pelfrey to start us off with the second half kickoff. On the final Sunday of the regular season and the final Sunday for these two teams. And here's Lewis from his 5. And he's out over the 30 and brought down at the 33-yard line. Now it's time to check in on the Coors Light halftime stats.
Well, the one thing that jumps at you is that, 48 yards for Cincinnati. They are holding the great Corey Dillon down just a little bit. Total yards, clearly Cincinnati dominating the football game, but they're kind of going backwards because they're losing yards because of sacks and other little mistakes.
1st and 10, the ball out at the 33-yard line for Eric Zeier. His 3rd straight start. He's 2-0 as a starter with the Ravens this season. And he dumps it underneath. Lewis can't hang on at the 35-yard line. That's a rare sight because that kid has good hands.
Boy, he's got great hands. This ball is almost thrown to the umpire. You see the official right here. He's just about. He almost makes a reception. See, that's hard.
I could see why he dropped it.
That's understandable, dropping that ball.
Only that the official looked back towards the ball, he would have been flagged for screening. Here's Morris, and he'll get dumped. Back at the 30-yard line is the Bengals defense, led by James Francis, number 50 in there to make the tackle. In the first half, here's what the Ravens did. Nothing but punt.
It's not pretty. Punt, 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 punt. That is not a pretty sight.
It is 3rd down and 13. They're looking at a punt to start the second half unless they can come up with a big play. Dixon from the outside, the 5th sack of the day for the Bengal defense.
The young quarterbacks give up sacks because of indecision. You can't find anyone. Now that time, that's pretty much poor blocking. I don't know if Bam Mars was supposed to get out there fast enough, but we were talking to Boomer about sacks, and Boomer came into this game with just 4, and he says that some quarterbacks, they'll take the sack before they throw it away, just to kind of keep their own stats reasonable.
Montgomery's punt is not a great one. He might get a pretty good roll on it, and does. Inside the 30. Well, that's the second time this afternoon that he's gotten a good roll on a punt. And the Bengals will come back after a good Montgomery punt with the ball when we return to Cincinnati. Dick LeBeau, the defensive coordinator of the Cincinnati Bengals, and maybe that defense is really starting to get that LeBeau system.
Well, you see the second half of the season, 21 sacks. They picked up 5 today. It's a great defense. It was superb at Pittsburgh when he was working it there, and they're starting to get it here.
Second effort, Corey Dillon runs it over the 25 to the 27. Jamie Sharper tackles for the Ravens. So today it really hasn't been the high-powered Boomer Esiason Bengal offense. It's really been that Bengal defense with great pressure on Eric Zeier. 5 sacks. And they are holding on to that 7-0 lead. 2nd down and 7. Esiason, far sideline. The catch is made by David Dunn. He's got a 1st down out over the 35-yard line. Deron Jenkins on the cover.
See, I'm telling you, something weird, something really weird has happened. Because 3 years ago, they were saying that Boomer Esiason can no longer throw the out route. That is the longest geometric throw in the game, from the middle of the field to the sideline.
there he zips one perfectly. That's the way he's played this back half of the season, or at least over the last month. His rejuvenation is unreal.
On first down, whistle blows. Stopping the play.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Kevin Sargent, the left tackle.
And we were told by the Baltimore Ravens defenders that the offensive line and some of the players on the Bengals do that a lot, because Boomer walks up, he quick counts you sometime, and they say that some of the linemen aren't exactly set when the ball starts to go back to the quarterback. So they said they would tell the officials to watch it. Maybe it worked.
First and 15 after the penalty. To Dunn. And out to the 42. Jamie Sharper and Antonio Langham on the play, and on the tackle of David Dunn.
You know, that's a great play in this offense, because David Dunn weighs 220 pounds. He's 6'3". He's working against cornerbacks that are like 5'11", 185. So all you have to do is let him catch it, and he'll start to drag you. Kansas City jam it to New Orleans, as most people have done this season.
Tennessee having a good day against the Steelers. 13-3. Here's Dillon. Hit 2 or 3 times and dropped back to the 40-yard line. On the bottom is Peter Boulware. And on the top is Ray Lewis. And those linebackers, especially Lewis, was really anxious to play against Dillon to see what he was all about.
He's got a man down on the field. There's some of his big days. I mean, 114 versus Philadelphia, 246 versus Tennessee.
The injury is to Scott Brumfield, who is already taking the place of Ken Blackman on the offensive line, so they might be a little bit thin on that offensive line. We'll be back to Cincinnati. 11:18 to go here in the third quarter. 7-0 Bengals. This is the NFL on NBC. Third down and 7 for the Bengals. Anthony Brown replaces Brumfield, who walked off under his own power at the right guard spot. Esiason fires one over the head of Dunn at the 50-yard line, and it will be fourth down, and the Bengals will punt.
Well, the Ravens have done a real good job adjusting to what Boomer tries to do. Even on the rollout here, Boomer has plenty of room, but look at the coverage. I mean, these guys are all over everyone. Little tip. The ball was tipped as it came out of Boomer's hand. So real good defense by the Ravens here.
Jermaine Lewis would love to be able to pop one here and give the Ravens pretty good field position. Johnson, a good high punt. Backs up Lewis. Calls for a fair catch inside the 15-yard line. So that will not happen. They will definitely have a long field to go as they're inside the 15-yard line. Well, as the regular season wraps up, the postseason kicks off on SuperBowl.com as NBC teams up with the NFL and IBM to produce the game's official website. So you can get a sneak peek at our plans for San Diego, as well as a complete playoff analysis. Plus, try out our game arcade and win a trip for 2 in the IBM Drive to the Super Bowl sweepstakes. All on the internet at SuperBowl.com.
We're working on Scott Brumfield's ankle. It looks like they're going to retape him. You remember last year he was the guy with the neck injury that really frightened everyone. He slowly got better and better, and now he's back.
Eric Zier looking long for Michael Jackson, right through his hands at the 45-yard line. A beautiful throw by Zier. That ball landed right in our broadcast position, right above us, and you could see it sail right through the hands of Jackson.
Well, this is a real good throw. And, you know, you can say that Ashley got that big club in the way and distracted him just a little bit. So, as an old defensive back, I'll say, you know, the DB did that. But it was a beautiful throw.
2nd and 10. A running play for Bam Morris. Keeps his balance and gets out for a short gain on that right side. Incidentally, Ambrose and Corey Sawyer earned special game balls last week because they both came back into the Dallas game with injuries, as Ambrose had a broken thumb. He returned to the game, and he's playing with a cast on his hand today. There it is. Sawyer came back with a dislocated elbow and he returned to the game too.
Tough guys. So they get the tough guy game ball. That's the one you don't want to get. You don't want to get one for coming back in the game with broken parts on your body.
James Francis is down and his helmet is off as he appears to be in some kind of pain with his right leg. So we'll check out on James Francis and we'll come back to Cincinnati. Bengals maintaining a 7-0 lead. Well, starting to get up, and that's a good sign. James Francis, it's his right leg that they're working on. Let's see if we can pick up how he got hurt, Beasley.
Well, here he is right here falling down. It looks like he just falls over his own teammate and catches his leg back just a little bit, but certainly good to see him. He's walking around and looks like he's okay for the offseason.
Fell over Steve Tovar, so it's 3rd and 7 now. And on 3rd down today, look at that miserable 1 out of 8 for the Ravens. Zaire in some trouble. Throws. He's got Alexander open, and he gets behind Bo Orlando, and he could be gone. Touchdown, Baltimore Ravens. 83 yards. Zaire turns it into a huge play.
Well, this is what, Coach Ted said he loves Eric Zaire's escapability, his mobility. So this is creating a play here. This is what really good athletes do. And Zaire with a super throw. Derek Alexander was caught from behind on a couple of big plays this season, so I know he feels real good about out-racing everyone on the team into the end zone.
A team that has had a tough day offensively in one play gets right back into the game now on the touchdown pass from Zaire to Alexander. Stover's kick ties the game, and it's 7-7 with 10:02 here in the 3rd quarter. I'll tell you what, Zaire to Alexander, that's been a pretty good connection if you're looking for big plays, because the Ravens now hold the record for the longest play in the NFL this season. It was 2 weeks ago. Eric Zaire connected with wide receiver Derek Alexander in quarter number 4 against the Seattle Seahawks. This play covered 92 yards. It's also the longest gain in Ravens history. He went 92 yards, and he didn't get a touchdown on that play.
That's my point. They walked him down, and you never hear the end of that in the National Football League. Believe me, in the locker room, everybody was probably giving him the business about that. So, good to see him outrun somebody into the end zone because he has great speed.
So he said it would never happen again, and it didn't on that play. He was in Ted Marchibroda's doghouse a little bit. He was benched for 5.5 quarters. He didn't start a game, didn't play one entire game, and then didn't start in that Seattle game and came on and made that play and had a big day.
Coach Ted taught him a lesson. He was habitually late to a few things. And so Coach said, we can't have that. We can't have that.
Well, now we're at 7-7 as the Bengals return men, the enemy, and Hunden are back deep. The enemy from inside the 1, just in front of the goal line, as the 20 and the 30, and goes out near the 33-yard line. Chased down by Benny Thompson.
This is what everybody's excited about when it comes to Eric Zaire. There's nothing here. He simply uses his athletic ability, throwing off balance, off the wrong foot, but a perfect spiral, because that's the position he had to put his body in to get the ball there. Takes a great athlete to do that, and Eric put on a show there.
Just 2 yards away now from his 2nd straight 1,000-yard receiving season. In a tie game, this is Brian Milne. Oh, look at him carry the tackler out to the 39-yard line. He carried Ralph Staten along for a ride with him. And Staten's a big guy.
Staten's a former linebacker. Milne, see, you do that for him every now and then. The guy is a blocker. He just sticks his face and shoulders in there time after time for Corey Dillon, and he gets a little showtime.
He picked up 7 yards. And on 2nd and 3. Corey Dillon. Boy, no hole there as he gets out to the 40 and pushes the pile maybe for another half yard. Keith Washington was on that left corner filling in for Rob Burnett today, and he made the stop, and Staten comes up and helps out. So it will be 3rd down and short yardage for the Bengals. 3rd and about 1. Back in the game on the offensive line for the Bengals is Scott Brumfield after a retape on an ankle. He twisted his ankle, and Dillon runs first down. Ooh, he almost slipped out of another tackle there as he got over the 45.
Uh-oh, we got a flag.
And a flag comes down. Peter Boulware is upset about it.
Well, they thought that Corey Dillon thought he had not been tackled yet. So the Ravens defenders gave him another little shot to make sure. And it was one shot too many.
Ouch. That's going to add some yardage on, huh?
Ouch.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness on the defense. Number 58. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
Ouch. See, the end of this play, Peter Boulware comes in and hits him because Corey Dillon jumped up like he was going to keep running, like maybe he tripped over his own man.
Like he does in practice. He runs 100 yards every play. 1st and 10. It's at the 37. This is Dillon again as he's got the hot hand right now. There he is, twisting out of the tackle. He just never gives up on the play. The play is never over for him, it seems.
You know, here's a new phrase. It was new for me, and I've been in football for 25 years. And the phrase was used by Bruce Coslet. He called it contact balance. And there's a great example of it. He was hit pretty squarely right in the hole, but his contact balance allowed him to do a 360. It allows him to break a lot of tackles, and that's the reason he's a 1,000-yard rusher.
And now he turns into a receiver as he ran out in motion. Incomplete, intended for Tony McGee. Ray Lewis is on the coverage, and then a very late flag is thrown in, and the Ravens' mood is getting worse.
Boomer knew that. That's a Boomer thing. That's a veteran. He saw the defender entangled with his receiver. The back was to Boomer. Boomer just hit his own receiver in the back, knowing that he'd get a penalty.
Holding defense.
That's too sneaky.
Number 52. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Oh, Boomer, quit. Boomer's using people now. See, look at him. He sees him tangled up. He knows the guy's not even looking at him. Yeah. He says, I'll get a penalty here if I throw it. Throws it and hits him in the leg. Boomer, you ought to quit it.
McGee say, what the heck just hit me?
Boomer said, what?
2 big penalties now in the Ravens.
Oh, that was huge. Boomer's too slick.
And another first down. The ball is at the 28-yard line. They size him with all kinds of time. Throws. David Dunn tries to stretch out. And you see the Ravens making sure that they are not going to have any hands. No hands there. And Antonio Langham is saying, I didn't touch him. I didn't even breathe on him.
It's like a police raid. It's like a police raid. Everybody's throwing their hands up. That me. Look at this. Look.
So Antonio Langham, who is really one of the only players in that secondary now with any kind of experience. They're playing so young back there because of injuries. 2nd down and 10, 7:36 to go here in the 3rd quarter. The Ravens have come back to tie the game at 7. Dillon with Milne, the fullback, leading the way. Puts his head down and runs down inside the 30-yard line. The tackle is made by Ralph Staten and Michael McCrary.
Dillon is a big, hard-running, smooth-running football player. But Bruce Coslet says that he insists that it's more the development of the offensive line that's the reason Dillon exploded in the second half of the season and the reason Boomer is getting so much protection.
3rd and 9.
Look at the protection.
Look at the protection is right. Esiason looking across the middle, and it's incomplete. As he hit a linebacker out there. Actually, he hit Michael McCrary, the defensive end, who had dropped back in coverage. He had a receiver streaking across by the goal line who was open, but couldn't get it there as McCrary knocked it down. That's a big play.
Oh, believe me, Boomer's upset because, you know, you give this guy, look at the time. Look at this. And look how cool he is in the pocket.
On to attempt the field goal is Doug Pelfrey. 9 straight for him. The field goal is on its way, and the Bengals on a 44-yard field goal by Pelfrey kick it through and take the lead again. 10 in a row for Pelfrey. The Bengals go right back and answer the Ravens touchdown with a field goal and now lead 10-7 here in the third quarter. And you're watching the NFL on NBC. Boomer Esiason and Kenny Anderson, the offensive coordinator, mapping out the game plan strategy here this afternoon. The Bengals have retaken the lead at 10-7, their first point since their first possession of the day in the game. Jermaine Lewis waits for the Pelfrey kickoff. Looks like they're going to kick it away from Lewis, and it goes to James Rowe. And Steve Tovar grabs him at the 29 and brings him down at the 30-yard line. So here come the Ravens back onto the field now after their big play. They got them back tied on the 83-yard touchdown pass from Eric Zier to Derek Alexander. Zier had only 96 yards throwing the ball up until that 83-yard touchdown pass. So now he has 179 on the day. He's used 6 different receivers. As you check out the scores, keep an eye on those important games. That Minnesota game. And remember the Jets and Lions coming up. Second half of our doubleheader today. Over the 30-yard line. 6:41 left here in the third quarter. The Ravens trail again, but only by 3. Michael Jackson out to the 40-yard line and into the Bengal bench. The Bengal coaching staff saying that he was juggling that ball when he was going out of bounds, but they say it's a good catch. He had possession.
Very good throw by Eric Zier. Once again, that sideline throw is the toughest one, the most dangerous. You make a mistake, it's a touchdown for the defense.
No huddle for the Ravens. Bam Morris trying to get the first down, and he may struggle to get the first down. Mark Chabrota, of course, Ted brought that no huddle into existence with the Buffalo Bills, and that really got them going, didn't it? On their way to Super Bowls.
That was, that was a beautiful moment in pro football history. The way Jim Kelly used to run that offense, boy, they'd walk up. You were dizzy, the K-gun. You were dizzy watching that offense run up and down the field. Sam Weiss used a similar no huddle, but his was sort of a huddle without a huddle, though. They kind of...
It was called the sugar huddle.
Sugar huddle, right.
Short and sweet.
There you go.
Well, they're short, so it's third down as Kenny Anderson and Boomer check over the Polaroids. The pictures taken up top of the defensive alignments that the Ravens are using. They have found it tough going today against this Baltimore defense, which, as you said at the start of the broadcast, Beasley, had really improved so much. These young kids now have a full season under their belt and are playing the defense of Marvin Lewis well. 3rd and 1 for Baltimore to hold on to the ball. And they run it, and with some extra effort, they are going to get the first down. Gerald Dixon finally makes the tackle as Bam Morris didn't have it on the first scrape to the outside, but then got it.
Bam has got a little limp going. That's an ugly limp.
Yeah.
Man.
And that's a problem for them because, of course, they've already lost their young running back, Graham. Jay Graham's out with an ankle, too. Zier's got Jackson wide open to the near side. And he pushes his way up near midfield.
Now notice how Jackson, the veteran, fakes like he's going inside and comes outside to the sideline. That's because it's the last game of the season, and you don't want to go inside on the last game of the season. That's where the linebackers, the DBs, everybody's coming from the inside.
That's an official who's actually down over on the Bengals sideline on that last play. So one of our officials is down. So the side judge goes down, Howard Slavin, and now he's up. Well, I hope he's okay, because those guys, remember, they don't, it looks like his shoulder. They don't have helmets, shoulder pads, or any kind of pads on.
You know, you'd think that would be something that they consider. Some type of padding, hip pad, shoulder pad.
Yeah.
I think I'll bring that up.
Already all kinds of marketing ideas going off in Beasley's head.
Well, I'm thinking, you know, the Beasley pad for referees.
So his right arm, he looks like he might have a little stinger. He's looking for some feeling down that right arm.
Yeah.
It's second down. Jackson got 7 on the catch. The ball is right at midfield.
Howard Slavin stayed in the game, though. I respect that in the side judge.
Ernest Biner is in for Bam Morris. Biner runs into Tovar, and Tovar brings him down for a no-gainer right at the 50-yard line. They hope that Tovar returns, and he's had kind of a tough year because of a knee injury, but they hope he returns to his early years when he came out of Ohio State.
No question he will. What a super football player. It takes a year. I had a major knee injury. It takes a year to really have total confidence in it. You can come back earlier.
Third down and 3. Short drop by Zaire. It goes out. Nice comeback, and the catch is made by Jermaine Lewis at the Bengal 31-yard line. Boy, did he come back and sight that ball.
Very nice adjustment to the football and a nice throw. I mean, Eric Zaire is starting to create here.
He knows 19 yards and a first down at the 31-yard line. Good catch by Jermaine Lewis. Bam Morris is back in, and he gets hit right away. John Copeland gets through and makes the tackle.
He did a 360 right into a knockout is basically what he did here. Watch the 360 right into Wilson, and that's how you get hurt. I mean, you can bend a knee back, a back, have your back bent beyond that little natural window that you have, the way the human body is constructed.
Second down and 12. Blitz coming, dumps it off. Eric Green has it. Ambrose hit him first. And then Tovar comes over to make the tackle, and they'll get back probably the 2 yards they lost on the first out play.
See, once again, this is a last game of the season tackle. You know, Ashley Ambrose literally faints in front of 290-pound Eric Green, and I don't blame him. He outweighs him by 150 pounds. You want to cast on the other hand?
Zaire's got 3rd and 10. Biner's in the backfield, replacing Morris. The catch made by Michael Jackson. He is up near the first down. Needed to get to the 21-yard line, so the spot will be all important here. 3 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Zaire's closing strong in this game. I mean, he started out in the game a little inconsistent, a little unsure of himself, I thought. But here in this series, he's been very decisive, made some really good throws. Of course, there was the great throw, athletic escaping throw to Derek Alexander for the long touchdown. So he's closing in the second half really strong in his 3-game audition, if you will.
6 inches. Decision now for Ted Marchibroda. Do you go?
Go. Got to go. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's the off season.
Tomorrow's Monday.
What?
And it's just a day for meetings and go home.
They won't even look at the film tomorrow. They'll get together, they'll clean out their lockers and go home. You have to go for this.
All right, crowd is up.
There is no tomorrow.
6 inches for a first down. 10th play of the drive. Zaire keeps it. Boy, he's got to push and push and push. Ted Marchibroda saying, I think we got it. The Bengals defense is saying, we pushed him back. They're not even going to measure Beasley. Ball goes over to Cincinnati.
Yeah, I think the ball came out of his hand before they blew the play dead.
What a hold by Tovar, Dixon, and the rest of the Bengal defense.
Well, the Bengal D is saying, if not now, when?
10-7 remains the score. Bengals lead, and we're coming right back.
You know, in honor of the holiday, both of these teams have Christmas wish lists, and let's take a look at their needs for next year. We'll start out with the Baltimore Ravens, number 1 on this holiday season, they need to decide, they need some veteran leadership. They need to decide who they can bring in through free agency that'll pump everybody up. They need a fullback. They only have one on the lineup, and they need to improve their defensive secondary. Now, for the other team, the Bengals, they have needs and wishes on this beautiful holiday season. They need to resolve their situation at quarterback. Is Boomer coming back? Upgrade their defensive talent. They've got a lot of talent on the offense. They need to keep it together. It's young and very talented.
Like this guy right here, Corey Dillon, and Dillon took the pitch to the outside and runs it up, and he'll have a tough time getting back to the line of scrimmage because knifing through was James Jones and Kim Herring. In fact, one of the Ravens, and it's Larry Webster, I believe, ended up without his helmet on the play. 2nd and 10, no gain for Dillon.
That's always a bad thing, ending up without your helmet.
Darnay Scott is another one who was a free agent at the end of this year. His contract is up here in Cincinnati, so you're right. Good offensive players, and they have to keep them. Esiason to the middle of the field. He had a man wide open at the 30-yard line, and it's thrown behind him as it was intended for Darnay Scott.
Boomer's very upset with himself after that throw. He had his head down, dejected because it was wide open. And here's a perfect look at it. Boomer knows where to go right now. And it just came out of his hand weird. That was right there, wide open in the middle of the field. Darnay Scott will make millions somewhere. If not here, someplace else.
He said he'd like to stay here. 3rd down and 10. Boomer, right down the middle. That's caught over the 35 to the 36-yard line. As the catch is made by Darnay Scott. That's his 5th grab of the day.
Well, they offered Darnay millions earlier in the season, but Darnay wants to be paid like, and look at Boomer. He's just beautiful. I mean, athletically, you see that flick, just a lot of power in that left arm. But Darnay says he wants to stay here. They offered him millions earlier. He turned it down because he wants to be paid like Carl Pickens is paid. And Carl Pickens is paid. Carl Pickens makes a lot of money. But they're telling him that he's a number 2 receiver. Darnay Scott feels like he is a franchise number 1 receiver. And guess what? He'll get that money somewhere.
The pitch to Dillon. And the Ravens read it again to the left side. Larry Webster makes the tackle of Dillon. Minnesota has opened up a 29-18 lead in the 3rd quarter in that game with the Indianapolis Colts.
Washington, an important situation there as they try to improve to 8-7, securing a playoff spot. Kansas City will probably, I'll tell you, I think they'll represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. They're playing that well across the board.
2nd and 10 for Esiason. Boomer in trouble. Dumps the ball off, though. Kijana Carter makes the catch at the 40-yard line. Back in the backfield, Esiason had been hit by Larry Webster and by Michael McCrary.
Here's a look. This is exactly what Boomer sees. Yeah, you can see the traffic and the flashing. You see people falling at your legs. Now, that's knowing the offense. He looked downfield the whole time because he knows that play is designed where after 3 or 4 seconds, Kijana will have made his move and come over the middle as an outlet, and Boomer calmly waited and found it.
Could be the last play of the 3rd quarter. 3rd and 7. Looking, got hit as he threw, and it's incomplete, almost intercepted.
And Peter Boulware almost had that 12.5 sack that he needs to tie the all-time leader there.
And Staten almost had the interception. They've been close twice.
See Boulware landed on top of him. Boomer really mad at himself there. Or mad at the blocking, mad at something.
Baltimore will get the ball back. 1 second to go in the 3rd quarter as Lee Johnson gets set to punt to Jermaine Lewis. Punts it over towards the sidelines, and it goes out of bounds. And the Ravens will get the ball as that's the end of the 3rd quarter, with Cincinnati leading 10-7. And we'll be back after these messages from your local station. This is the NFL on NBC.
This telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the NFL is prohibited.
The fourth quarter set to begin here in Cincinnati. The Baltimore Ravens have the ball at their 25-yard line. And Eric Zier finds his tight end, Eric Green. They're going to blow the play dead as it's picked up by Billy Granville. And he was on his way to stardom, but they blew the play dead at the 30-yard line. So the catch is good.
Let's see. Oh, so they gave him the catch. And they gave him down by contact. Okay.
5 yards, second down and 5. Baltimore down by 3. Looked left, now looks right. Looking for someone to create a play. And underneath, the catch is made by Derek Alexander. And he should be up very close to the first down at the 35-yard line.
And even bigger for his career. I believe that catch puts him over 1,000 for the season.
Yeah, he was just 2 yards shy of that.
So that's back-to-back 1,000-yard, 1,000-yard seasons for Derek Alexander, and that starts to put you up in that next level when you do that a couple of times.
And on first down, Zier again finds Michael Jackson, who gives up a couple of yards to try and run back and maybe get himself some more space, and goes down at the 40-yard line. It's a quick strike offense right now for Baltimore. Jackson gets up limping. Alexander now with 1,003. He's down from his numbers last year. They hand to Bam Morris. Morris pushes his way out near the 45.
You know, this game picked up with
10-7, Bengals in the lead. Esiason getting wrapped up there by Boulware, who just can't get that one sack that would tie him for the rookie record. Ray Lewis is in on the coverage there of Tony McGee, the tight end. I mean, Boulware has had Esiason 3 times there.
If he had this one to do over again, I bet he would extend himself. He'd lay out. You see, he ends up kind of reaching. That is so close to tying an NFL record.
He is one shy. He's got 11.5. The record is 12.5. The carry by Dillon, and Dillon goes out to the 39-yard line. But the Bengals are really having a tough time trying to get themselves a first down. Time for the Miller Time game summary. Bengals leading by 3. Zier with a real big play. His touchdown pass was 83 yards to Derek Alexander. Boomer's touchdown pass, a short one to his tight end Battaglia. The unexpected is that Corey Dillon has run into a stubborn Raven defense, but not unexpected by the Ravens defense. They told us last night they were ready for Dillon, and he's only got 58 rushing. It's 3rd and 4. Here come the Ravens early. Unless someone pulled him off, Bieniemy gets the carry and gets dumped in the backfield by Larry Webster. But there is a flag.
I think the only person that pulled him off is Boomer with his classic barking voice.
Offside defense, number 58, 5-yard penalty, first down.
You see, this is the second slick move. See Boomer?
Yeah.
You see his head jerk? That's the second slick move by Boomer where he has just toyed with these defenders. You know, he's pulled this before. Over and over again. Experience. Toying with these children.
How do you police it? 1st and 10. The ball is at the 45, and being the sagey veteran that he is, he'll get a first down any way he can. He gets away from the rush by Washington, throws one right on the turf at the 45-yard line. The Ravens are saying it's incomplete to Hundon, and it is.
Good effort by Hundon. You know, because of the pressure, Boomer's really in a bad position, so he has to just sling this out here. But, man, this is almost a good grab. Look at him put little fingers together. It's off the ground. It's a good catch if he can bring it in now. You know what? That's a catch. How about that?
Yeah.
That's a catch.
2nd and 10. Hundon to the sideline. Dillon back in the backfield to David Dunn, and Antonio Langham is all over that play. What a
first
play.
time.
Wow.
That's the 3rd time they have used that play. Dunn gained positive yardage on the first 2. Antonio says, you can fool me once and fool me twice.
And maybe twice.
And if you run a stop and go on the next one, you might fool me a 3rd time. I tell you, that's what I'd come back with. I'd come back with a stop and go.
Is that what that sets up there?
Oh, absolutely.
3rd down and 10. They changed some personnel in the Bengal offensive unit. Carter and Bieniemy come into the backfield. Hunden is in right there at the corner of your screen. And flags come down.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Brumfield, the guard, is called for a false start.
Now, I'm one of the great lip readers in broadcasting when it comes to head coaches, and Coach Coslett yelled out, "What's going on?"
That was a good call. You saw 72 lift up. And now it's 3rd and 15. With 6:56 left. Esiason throws it to Carter, and Ray Lewis gets there. 52 Ray Lewis. That guy should be going to Hawaii. He should be an all-pro player.
He is an all-pro player. He just didn't get the vote this year because the Ravens had a difficult season. They were not nationally televised very much this year. Leads the National Football League with 204 in tackles. His training regimen is incredible.
Right. I imagine he's going to cut body fat. From the 30-yard line, Johnson puts it right on the numbers. Lewis calls for a fair catch, juggles it. That ball is inbounds, now out of bounds. And it's at the 9-yard line. Baltimore will have again for yet another time today a long field to go. 6:09 to go in regulation. They trail by 3. This is the NFL on NBC. So here's your situation. 6:09 left, 4th quarter, and the Bengals leading 10-7. The Ravens, after missing a 44-yard field goal on their last possession, now trail by 3 and have 91 yards to go with 6:09 left. This might have to be the drive. Zaire looks like he's changing the play. What's tough now is that the play clocks are not working here. So he's really just got to keep guessing as to how much time he has left. Finally dumps it off, and Bear Morris will struggle to get back to the 9-yard line. Billy Granville wraps up Morris.
That disguising is really, you see the play clock is dead, so Zaire has the added stress of not knowing exactly when it's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, etc.
It's got to be a little bit unnerving. No huddle this time. Loops the ball out there. It's caught. And the catch is good. Nice grab by Michael Jackson. He had both feet down, and he gets out for a 1st down.
Now that's just horrible defense. Horrible defense. I mean, how do you throw a softball out into the flat? Well, you throw it because the defender has his back turned, scared to death that he's going to go deep on it.
Timo von Oelhoffen is down. That cornerback over there is Jimmy Spencer, of course, getting the start today for Corey Sawyer. And as you said, Beasley, it looked like he was giving him an awful lot of room there.
Well, he was ready to run to the end zone.
Minnesota 36-21. Jim Harbaugh has been knocked out of that game with what they believe is it's a concussion. It looks like the Vikes will be into the playoffs. The Redskins leading by 10 over Philly. The defense chant going up here at Cincinnati, Kansas City. Gannon is back in now for Gerbach at quarterback in that game. 2 field goals is all that the Steelers had today against Tennessee.
With the win, Tampa Bay has a home field. They will host a home game for the first round of the playoffs. And the Giants, first team in history to go through the NFC East without a defeat. They had 1 tie, and all the rest of the games were wins. That's why they won the East.
It's a 1st down for Eric Zaire. Down the middle to Morris, and short yardage out to the 28. And the clock continues to run now with 5:14 remaining. The Ravens have 3 timeouts left. So they're conservatively going down. I mean, he'd like a big play, but it's just not right there.
Well, when you need in this situation, an athlete like Eric Zaire is a real plus, because if it breaks down a little bit, he can run around. Now, once again, the disguising, forcing Zaire to change the play.
Zaire Jackson's open, can't pull it down. He was looking for his feet to come down and had the ball up on his hand, and it's incomplete at the 40-yard line. And again, Beasley, he's wide open.
Yeah, but once again, when you have to turn and backpedal to the sideline, that means the ball was thrown late and behind you. Now, that should be a catch. But anytime, that play is not designed for him to backpedal to the sideline and catch it.
Zaire thought he had the connection there. Ambrose on the corner, 3rd down and 6. That is almost picked off by Ashley Ambrose. He steps in front of Jermaine Lewis.
I guarantee you, Ambrose is one of the top defensive backs in the league. You take that club off and it's a touchdown. You declub him. You declub Ashley Ambrose, and this is 6, brother. See, look at that.
Oh, as you know, no thief can steal a car with the club on it. Montgomery back at his 15. As the Ravens now will have to get the ball back and get some defense and get the ball back. Myers calls for a fair catch at about his 25-yard line. Now the crowd is booing there. They wanted him to return, but possession is so important right now. If that ball spits out there, look at where the Ravens would have it.
Possession is 9/10.
Tonight on Dateline.
Out-of-control football fans. One stadium's taking them on with a court, judge, and jail inside the stadium. It's happening. See how it's working. Dateline tonight. Then, the timeless classic for the whole family. Little Women after Dateline, NBC tonight.
And on 1st down, Corey Dillon runs for another loss. Jamie Sharper. Dillon's losing yardage as the day goes on. They have done a great job on Corey Dillon.
Ray Lewis, Sharper, Boulware, they said they don't see it. How is this guy gaining all these yards? They said that the problem is the other players are not hitting him. They're reaching for him.
Dillon, 57 today. Look at those defenses that he had huge games against. Dallas, Tennessee, and the Eagles. Esiason, a little bootleg. Down the middle of the field, wide open, Darnay Scott! Touchdown! Pelfrey for the extra point. Oh, and he hit the upright, I believe, with it. He clocked the upright, and it's no good. So it remains 16-7.
So Mike Brown is saying, man, now it's going to cost me $3 million to get him to come back. And the networks, like there's 3 or 4 networks that are saying, man, now it's going to cost me $2 million to get him to leave. This guy must have had an operation. He must be bionic. That must be a mechanical arm. That arm in this cold weather, that was a bullet. Now, you want to talk about a strong arm. Now, watch Darnay. He's got to run all the way across the field. Boomer bootleg to one side, threw back across. That ball had to travel 50, 60 yards in the air, in the cold, right on the money.
You know, that play reminds you many times of the play that he used to run that little bootleg to the side and hit Eddie Brown or Tim McGee streaking down the sideline back in the Super Bowl year that he took the Bengals in.
That was just a phenomenal throw. You have to congratulate the offensive line because it takes a long time. Mike Brown is saying, there goes another million. But Mike Brown has got to get this guy to play football next year.
Well, Boomer said he saw Mike Brown at practice on Friday and just wanted to say, have a nice Christmas, Mike.
Right.
And Mike said, you know, we really got to talk.
We need to talk.
Boomer continues to have an amazing season. He's 29 passing yards away from going into 8th on the all-time list for yardage by Dave Craig. Pretty good return here by James Rowe out over the 40 to the 41-yard line, and Baltimore needs points fast. They are 2 scores away, but Esiason hits on that big touchdown pass of 77 yards, 8th place on the all-time passing list. David Craig would be the guy that he would go by. I don't know if he's going to get a chance to throw anymore, though, today with 3:31 left.
It's an amazing story. It is the comeback story in the National Football League this season. He affects the defense. Now watch how well the defense plays. They don't want to let Boomer down.
First down, Zaire. And he is going to get sacked again. The 7th sack today. That's the rookie, Renard Wilson, who was there, and Zaire's upset with him. He went back after Wilson. He's really hot at Wilson.
Well, wow. You have to be cool. You have to maintain your composure.
Look at that guy, though. I mean, he went over a blocker today.
I know. I like that. And he went over not just any blocker. He went over Jonathan Ogden, a great blocker.
Clock running, 3:15 as he took that snap. And he is wide on the throw to the 50-yard line, intended for Derek Alexander.
Desperation throw, a lack of belief that his line was going to give him time. I mean, he went back and hurried that thing, just slung it out of his hands. Not that I blame him.
7 sacks today. They've had a great second half of the season, picking up the Dick LeBeau system. The catch made by Jermaine Lewis. He's got to get that first down. He fumbles the ball into the Ravens bench, and where the official is standing over there on the sideline, I think he's right there to get the first down. I think he has it.
Well, you see what Eric Zaire can do when he has time. That time he was able. Jermaine Lewis is down.
He went down hard.
Yes, he did.
Because he really left himself unprotected when he went down trying to get that extra half yard. He's a fighter.
He is just a fun guy to watch. He's grabbing his leg, but he is walking. Now watch him just sell out trying to get to that line marker. And really Meyer hung on to that leg. And
it's his right leg.
Yeah. But he's up and walking.
It's a first down. They hand the ball to Bam Morris, and a flag is thrown as Morris goes down at the 46 of Cincinnati. Could be holding again. Wally Williams is pleading his case. He's 63. As we check out Lewis, and it is a penalty coming up against Baltimore. Now this kid, look at that yardage, Beasley, and he was out 5 games with an injury.
See,
offense, number 69. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
And you also have to remember that Jermaine is a miniature player. I mean, this guy is 5'7", 170 pounds in his second year. So he's like a little water bug, extremely fast, but even quicker than he is fast.
Well, let's hope he's okay. The right leg as they continue to work on it, because the Ravens really need him back in there. 2:46 to go. Out of the backfield, Bam Morris trying to get away from Copeland. He does. And fights it over the 45 to the 46. But they need 2 scores. They need a big play fast. Andre Collins makes the tackle along with Gerald Dixon.
It's double move time. You know, I go Michael Jackson with a curl and go, a post corner, some type of double move route.
Down the middle of the field, good defensive play as the ball is knocked away by Ashley Ambrose again. I think he's going to get another game ball today.
Oh, who else? Ashley Ambrose is one of the great DBs in this league. Look how comfortable he is. He knows he has help over the top, so he allows the receiver to pass him by, gets in his hip pocket, drags underneath, and knocks it down.
And it's third down at 15. Ambrose lines up again.
Just don't mess with Ashley.
He's playing on the slot man this time. That's Yarborough, who's in there for Lewis. A blitz coming from the outside. Eric Green makes the catch. And he's going to be well shy of the first down on 3rd and 15. And we're at 2 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Down to the 2-minute warning. The Bengals leading 16-7 over Baltimore. And you're watching the NFL on NBC. It's been full circle for Boomer Esiason. He really has come home again here to Cincinnati. Remember, he joined the Bengals out of the University of Maryland in 1984, and 4 years later, he took Cincinnati to the Super Bowl. Then in 1993, traded to Bruce Kozlick's New York Jets. From there to Arizona as a free agent. And then coming back to Cincinnati, he sparked the excitement of the Bengals and to his son, Gunnar. And there's his wife, Cheryl, watching her husband wrap up what Beasley Reese has termed the Comeback of the Year award type season here in Cincinnati. Big play now. Ravens have it 4th and 10 from the 49 of Cincinnati with 2 minutes to go. Down by 9. Zaire caught by Michael Jackson. He's ahead of the defender Tito Paul, and Jackson dives down inside the 15-yard line to the 12. First down, Ravens. Timeout. Zaire wants it. He's trying to find an official. Is there an official in the house that he can get his signal to?
Well, you know, if I'm in that secondary, you have to think. You have to say to yourself, who's the big play receiver? You know, who's the guy they're going to go to? It's always going to be MJ. It's always going to be Michael, especially when Jermaine is banged up. 37 yards on this play. Every time they need it toward the end of a big game, they go to number 81, and there they did it successfully again.
Well, that changes the feel of Synergy Field right now.
Yes.
They were ready to party. Yes. It was 4th down. They needed 10, and instead the Ravens keep it alive, very much alive now.
But not so fast.
Got to get it in.
Got to get it in. Number 81, Michael Jackson, can out-jump anybody in that secondary. So if I'm a defender, if I'm in that secondary, I've got to think, what are the weapons available to Eric Zaire? And I get ready for a jumping contest in the end zone.
From the 11, 1st and 10. Zaire across, right at the goal line, touchdown Eric Green. He waited for Green to come across the field and hit him right on the numbers, and the Ravens score.
Well, I'll tell you what made that play. What made that play is Michael Jackson went all the way across the field in the back of the end zone. Like I was talking about, MJ, the defenders followed him inside, and then lo and behold, underneath was the big tight end. See Michael flash in your face. All of the look, there's no defenders over there. All the defenders went in with Michael, and Eric Green's available for the touchdown.
So now Matt Stover on for the extra point. And the kick is good. And now you wonder which missed kick will be the most important in this game. The missed field goal from 44 by Matt Stover, or the missed extra point by Pelfrey that he rang off the upright.
Well, the key is what happens on this onside kick. There are two different kinds. There's the kind that you roll and hope for a bounce, and there's the kind that you kind of flub and hope for a catch at the back end. See how he came from the other side of the field. Michael Jackson had cleared out by looping his 6'3" high jumping frame across, and just real good play calling there by the Ravens.
Scott O'Brien huddles up that special teams unit. Scott O'Brien's the special teams coach on the sideline. Benny Thompson, the special teams coach on the field for the Ravens, and he'll get them ready. Remember, great game coming up. Bill Parcells has got his game face on right now. He's probably had it on since early this week.
And I don't know who to root for. I have so much respect for Barry Sanders. I hope for him to get 2,000 yards, and then I played for Bill Parcells, so I'm all confused. I mean, this is going to be a great football game coming up. The Jets need it. Detroit needs it, and everybody in Detroit is taught, and it really, people who love football and respect high achievers, you know, you have to be pulling for Barry Sanders to get to 2,000. Here we go.
Onside kick time. 1:40 left. They're down by 2. There it is. They wait for it to hit, and it goes out of bounds. There's a flag down, and there's another flag down.
Well, the ball was touched before it traveled 10 yards. See, even that was not a good kick by Stover. Stover is just off.
First short free kick out of bounds. 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
Right, so you get to do it again.
See, this is going to go to, this is too dramatic of an angle. See, at about, see, it lands at about 8.
Because Kim Herring, number 20, was standing there just kind of urging it to go the extra 2.
Really, it works best when you bounce it off of the opponent. You know, you roll it down, it takes a weird hop, it bounces off one of the Bengals, and then one of your guys is there to jump on it.
So they try it again. This time he has it up on the tee at the 25-yard line after the 5-yard penalty.
Oh,
it's caught! He caught it right away. Priest Holmes catches the ball, but it didn't go far enough again. They blow the play. They blow it dead at the 35-yard line.
Jim, let me tell you
Or is he saying now that the ball is going to belong to the Ravens?
Jim, that thing, if they're saying it was caught before 10 yards, it was caught at 9 3/9. I mean, we're talking right at the edge if they're saying that didn't go 10.
Priest Holmes caught the ball, and he almost raced right in for a touchdown. So we'll have a conference on this.
Lobbying. That's called lobbying. This is called lobbying.
Here it is. Here's the call.
Illegal touching of a short free kick. Penalty is declined. First down.
And it goes totally against the Ravens. All right, count the yards, Beasley.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
From the 25.
There's 5. See, right there, you know, that looks so close. I mean, we're talking less than inches. But, you know, they have an official right at the 10-yard marker, and his trained eye is doing nothing but looking down that line.
And it remains 16-14 with 1:39 left. The Ravens can stop it twice. And a pretty cool guy who knows how to work the clock.
The coolest.
Starts it. Dillon. Chase from behind. Got away. And Ray Lewis drags him down at the 31-yard line. And they immediately use one of their timeouts, and now they'll have one left.
See, Ray Lewis does not play that. You are not going to go wide on Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis said that Corey Dillon could not break free from him, and Ray Lewis and company, they bottled this young superstar up. Budding superstar, future superstar, according to most.
On the sideline, Bruce Coslett explaining, what can you tell him? What can you tell Beasley Reese? What can you tell Boomer Esiason about how to do it? Just making sure that the checklist is going okay.
You just go through the options. You can't tell Boomer anything.
Now on the other side, Ted Marchibroda is still arguing about that about the onside kick, and well, he should.
Yeah, Ted is still mad. The official is saying, please, Ted.
And he's happy.
Ted won't let it go. Look at the face of the official. He said, please, Ted. Ted.
Second down and 7. Brian Milne is the blocking back for Corey Dillon. With 1:30 left. Back to Dillon. Dillon's going to get the first down. There's a flag call, though, at the 15, 10, down inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. But there is a flag, and it is holding, and it is against Cincinnati.
Dillon is deceptive in his speed. And now, see, I finally saw it. You see him turn the corner there? I mean,
holding offense, number 89. 10-yard penalty, still second down.
Marco Battaglia, who caught a touchdown pass and a great pass before that on the First possession of the day is hit with the holding call.
Now, I want you to watch Corey Dillon because Ray Lewis didn't see it, and I haven't been able to see it on film, but this big man can fly. I mean, right now, this is speed. And really right here, that last couple of strides, I mean, he has tremendous length in his stride. Speed equals stride plus number of strides you put down on the ground, and this guy can pick him up and put him down.
Remember that, kids, when you take your SAT. On the math side, here's Esiason. He's going to throw. All kinds of holding going on over there on the side. David Dunn almost ended up without a jersey as Antonio Langham grabbed him.
Guess what? Great penalty.
It is a great penalty. It would have been a touchdown.
Great penalty, Antonio Langham.
Pass interference, defense, number 38, automatic, first down.
I like that. I like this first down. I like his first down call. But look, see, he's got you beat. You know he's fooled you. You have been duped, deceived, and befuddled. So grab the guy, let it be first down. Now your defense still has a chance to make a play. It would have been a touchdown.
A minute 15 to go.
Here we go.
They have one timeout left. And Boomer goes down to the knee. And the Ravens will stop it, I'm sure. They still haven't.
They have called it a season.
A minute 6 now left. Yep, timeout Ravens, their last now of the day. And Boomer and the Bengals on their way to a victory as they'll squeak one out here today if they can hang on the final 112. The Ravens have been penalized today a total of 100 yards. And a missed 44-yard field goal by Matt Stover, his 5th straight miss, comes up the difference.
That was big. That was a big miss.
Tony Siragusa never gives up the fight. Over on the sideline behind his head coach Ted Marchibroda. Boomer down to the knee on 2nd and 11. And the Bengals string now of winning their home finale will continue. They had won 8 out of 9. And now it would be 9 out of their last 10 years they've won their final game of the season here at home.
Really entertaining football game, though. Just following the story of Boomer Esiason.
He goes down again on 3rd down and 12. And obviously a lot of emotion still out there. Tony McGee gets into a little bit of a pushing match, but that is going to do it. Bruce Coslett and the Bengals finish out the string very strong, led on by a 36-year-old quarterback, Ted Marchibroda, and the Ravens will end it with a 6-9-1 season as the fireworks go off here in Cincinnati. And there's your final count of this regular season as the Bengals win this afternoon 16-14. Once again, the final score today, Cincinnati 16, Baltimore 14. Coming up next on